Hey, I'm your neighbor. I live 3 houses down. I just wanted to let you know that every time you go to work, there's a car that comes here and there's a guy that comes into your house. I think your wife might be cheating on you. The car is a red Chevy. License plate, it starts with a 5. I didn't get the whole thing. But every time you leave work at about 2 a.m., there's a red Chevy that pulls up right down the street here, parks here. And there's a guy who comes into your house and meets with your wife. I've seen this about 4 nights in a row now, and I just want to let you know, if you need more proof, I got like a ring cam, and I can show you my ring cam that shows my front yard. You'll see the car in the footage. If you got any questions, like I said, I live 3 houses down at 592. If you want to talk about it, just let me know. All right, just want to tell you that. Okay.
But I am saying that feminization has caused one specific particular problem, and that is wokeness. Like a lot of people, I was baffled by the woke phenomenon. Why did everyone seemingly go crazy all at once in the summer of 2020? It was inexplicable. It seemed to be mass hysteria, genuinely. And the more I thought about what caused it, which is a very important question, because if we know what causes it, we know how to prevent it from happening in the future. I read an article that someone else wrote that put forward a really simple, elegant thesis, which is that wokeness is simply feminine patterns of behavior applied to institutions where women had not been very well represented until recently. Women tend to be more consensus-focused, consensus-oriented. Men, when they're approaching a moral question, will ask, what are the facts? What are the rules? Whereas women will say, what are the relationships at play here? How can we make everybody happy? Mm-hmm. How can we reach an outcome that will satisfy all the parties? As opposed to the male perspective of how do we reach an outcome that is just and according to the rules. That sounded a lot like wokeness to me. And the sort of piece that made it all click into place for me was the coincidence of timing. It is the case, just we can all agree as a matter of fact, that a lot of institutions that went woke or were affected by wokeness became demographically female in the last 5 years. Law schools in America turned majority female in 2016, and they've gotten a little bit more female every year since then. I think now it stands at 55, 56%. The New York Times became majority female in its workforce in 2018, which is maybe why it was so susceptible to the fads of wokeness and the internal policing and the Slack revolts that took place internally over there. Medical schools are now majority female. The white-collar workforce overall, employees in the United States with college degrees, a majority of them are women. And managers, management positions in the U.S. workforce, 46% female, so almost majority female. So the fact that all of these institutions tipped over to being majority female around the same time that wokeness emerged seemed to me that couldn't possibly be a coincidence. And one of the most consistent psychological differences between men and women is women have a strong impulse of caring, right? Which is exactly, I'm not somebody who looks to evolutionary biology for the solutions to all human phenomena, but this particular one does seem glaringly Darwinian, right? That women see helpless things and they want to take care of them. That is definitely something that Darwin would find a pretty easy explanation for. But that's also something that wokeness can easily weaponize. It means that if you can frame your political issue as a way of caring for some help.
So basically, in so many words, we're going to sit here and get nothing done. Everybody's got to have a say-so. Everybody's got to talk. Everybody's got to have a vote. Even if this person didn't have any skin in the game, they need to have a vote. They need to have a say-so. No matter if they didn't earn it, they're not trying to earn it, they need to have a say-so. And this is really what you see in a lot of these relationships where modern women feel like you should spend $500 on them on a date. Well, I don't really know you, so I don't think that you should have a say-so in how much I'm spending on you. I think we should get to know each other first before, I start spending that type of money. Well, I'm as good as you. I'm a strong, and this one there, well, I'm a strong, independent woman. I have this, I have that. And they'll start trying to bring up all of their accolades as to what they've done, trying to make it seem like they're equal to you. trying to make it seem like I'm as good as you, so I'm worthy of this $500 that you're about to spend on me. You're not. I don't know you. You don't get a vote. Now, I can respect you. I can say, hey, I want to take you somewhere nice, but it doesn't mean that I need to take you somewhere that costs $500. Not going to be doing that.
What are women lacking? Good attitude, Black women in particular. Let's talk about what's a good attitude. Let's be specific. Positive. Imagine that. Service-minded. Already, those two disqualified a bunch of you. Helping and supportive. Confident. Confidence, not loud. Fair and just. Oh my gosh. I feel tired even just saying this. Accountable. Kind. Why is it? It's sad that this is so funny. Kind, damn it. Responsible. You know what I'm describing, y'all? Pro-social. That's the opposite of antisocial. Antisocial doesn't mean you're introverted. Antisocial means that you do things that are destructive to society. Antisocial is also a personality disorder. Let me save that one. Your character, if your liabilities outweigh your assets, you're a liability. Someone would have to be dumb to get on board with you. We see it in the fruit. You don't prioritize your own personal character development, but you do focus heavily on getting the promotion, on how much money you're making. You're becoming consumed with achievement, attaching achievement to your self-worth. Most men don't want a pushover of a woman. That's weird. That's uncomfortable. Like a man that has some character and values, that's a weird feeling to be able to just push women over physically, emotionally, mentally. Like she can't hold her own like mental ground. That's a weird dynamic to be in for someone who is not abusive, like who's like a normal person. That's a weird dynamic to be in. They're not looking for pushovers, doormats. There's a misrepresentation of being a type of woman that has a mentality that a man likes. Like they make it so extreme. You must not like yourself. Like, no, I actually love myself. And that's part of why he loves me. Dummy. Y'all are confused. So confused.
Your husband will never pour out his wisdom into you as long as you don't have a teachable spirit. Men are very meticulous with how they spread their energy. So the man will only speak wherever he feels seen, heard, and respected. The problem that a lot of women have is that you always assume that your husband has nothing valuable to teach you. And this is how a lot of ladies forfeit mentorship. They forfeit the opportunity of being cultured into the culture and the ideologies of their husband, being orientated into the system that your husband functions by. You assume you know better than him, so he's going to be quiet. You assume you're more knowledgeable than him, he's not going to teach you anything. When last did you deliberately ask your husband to teach you a skill? When last did you deliberately sit under the tutelage of your husband? When last did you ask your husband to teach you and mentor you pertaining his ideologies and how he sees life? When last did you sit down and ask your husband his opinions pertaining social matters? You are forfeiting so much from the man you have married because you think there is better out there. You need to sit down and probe and draw out the mentor and the teacher on the inside of him. You will easily lose a man who is not emotionally and mentally invested in you. If you truly want to keep your man and your husband, you better become his disciple. You better become his number one mentee. Wherever he is, be there. Whatever he does, ask him to teach you. Be there. Be eager to learn. Act like you don't know. Even if you know, always maintain a humble, teachable spirit, and you will see your husband will start opening up and teaching you more and more and more things than you could have ever imagined.
But you have to remember The average black woman in America don't get no older than about 14. So just talk to her and deal with her like you dealing with a 14-year-old. Don't come at her like you dealing with an equal, because she's not going to be able to accept that. You got to go way back. And we cut off at about 14 to 15. We don't develop and mature no further until we get some new information and accept some different information. Look at a lot of my lectures on YouTube. People have put everything I got out there just about. They rob me every day. So go and look those up and listen to some of those, and they're in short enough clips that you'll be able to get some information and be able to share that with her. Because I give it out really straight and really direct, and I give us useful tools that we can use every day like you're talking about. But if you love her, and she gonna fight against right, because that's how we have been reared by the enemy. That ain't her you fighting. You fighting the demon in her that was put in her by the enemy.
And so what she said there was really good, because essentially she said the information not only that they receive, but the information that they accept. A lot of modern women aren't accepting new information. They don't care about it. They want to know that they're right. And if they don't feel like they're right, they want you to make them right in the situation. So you pull some strings, you manipulate the environment to make me feel as though I knew what I was talking about all along and my intuition was correct.
Does the gender pay gap exist?
Yeah, people that work more dangerous jobs do get paid more. People that work longer hours get paid more. People that are more willing to travel to work get paid more. Just so happens that men are more likely to do those things than others. The idea that women are paid 77 cents a man's earn in terms of the same job, not true. 16 to 24, women are paid more than men, which isn't fair. No one talks about that, and it's been like that for the last 2 years.
There's the Korn Ferry Pay Index, 53 countries worldwide, 14,284 employers, 12.3 million plus employees, and it found that there was a gap of 16.1% between men and women, men being paid more. That was all men and women, the median. Then you take men and women doing the same job, it instantly falls to 5.3%. Then you take men and women doing the same job at the same company, it falls to 1.5%. Then you take men and women doing the same job at the same company with the same function, it falls to 0.5%.
You're adding the controls. You started off with women versus men. You're going to be pairing like a female teacher versus a male brain surgeon. Obviously, the brain surgeon's going to get paid more regardless of... And then you've moved up and you're adding the controls to the point where you're comparing a female brain surgeon with a male brain surgeon, both at the same hospital, both doing the same surgeries, both working the same hours. She's paid 0.5% less than him. It's still worth exploring, but it's certainly not 20%.
If these companies are just hungry for money, they're misogynists, why don't they just employ women? Because they'll save a bunch of money.
Because they know the truth. They know they'll be paying those women the same as the men.
So another reason why women get ghosted is they don't understand that after it happens, the onus of the effort shifts to them.
To the women.
To the women.
Interesting.
Perhaps you've heard this said that men are the gatekeepers of commitment and women are the gatekeepers of...
I heard that in the book, yeah.
But in modern dating, where it precedes commitment, then we just come up against the women's gatekeeping first. And this isn't even really about men and women. It's about who's like on the outside and who has the power to let them in. So women have the power to let men in, and happens before commitment these days. So the man's going to be making the effort. He's running offense. She's running defense.
At first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes women think, because they get kind of anchored there, that after it happens, that he's just going to keep trying or keep escalating. And it's like, no, sweetie, you have to make the effort. You didn't just hand over to every man that desires it from you. Why is that man going to hand over a commitment just because you want it? You have to go get it. Now you are on offense. He's on defense, and he can let you in or not. And so a lot of women don't try. They don't make the effort. And they also often don't know what to do. They don't know how to secure a man's commitment.
I told my husband I wanted a divorce. I walked myself through the logistics of where would I live? How would we split the time with the kids? Who gets the dog? Where, all of those things. I feel like I have been searching for something in my relationship that we don't have for the whole time we've been married, which has been 10 years. There is not a single thing about my husband in and of himself that I do not love. He is the most self-disciplined, loyal, hardworking, good person that you could meet on this planet. Our relationship and what my expectations are for my marriage and what they always have been are not met. I can't be myself with my husband. And it's really confusing because I'm 32 years old I'm a mom of 3, and I still don't know who I am.
Searching for something in our relationship that we don't have. So don't you think, they really don't understand marriage. Even after 10 years, they don't understand marriage. Well, I don't have this in my relationship. That's why you have to create it. You have to create it in your relationship. That's the whole point. Y'all are thinking everything is going to come easy. It's not. A lot of the stuff you're going to have to create, you're going to have to build. A lot of the people that you see that you're saying couple goals that are happy in relationships, some of those people are not happy. They just have a lot of money and they have a nice house and they have a nice car, right? They have enough money to go get their kids a haircut every other week or every week. So their kids look nice. They have the nicest clothes, the latest fashion, but they're not really great at marriage either. What you need to focus on is the people that are saying, hey, here's how we did it. This is what to do. And even when you're, well, what about when I'm feeling like this? Well, when you're feeling like this, that's common. That's normal. This is what you do to get over that. This is what you do to get over this hurdle. That's what you need to be doing. But modern women, just like yourself, continue to get online and talk crap about your husband, who you just went down the line as a perfect husband, a perfect situation. And nothing can satisfy you guys. Literally nothing can satisfy you guys. You're going to go into the next relationship and you're going to like it for maybe 4 or 5 years. And then you're going to be back out on the street again. I mean, when does it end? Insufferable, entitled.
Women are all like, he better accept me as I am. And then they turn to the guy and they're like, you need therapy, you need to make more money, and you better level up. Girl, get in line for cat adoptions.
There's one thing I learned in life. What's that? A man got to know who to date and who not to date. And what I mean by that is, if there's a woman, y'all listen very carefully. There's a woman that can bring violence out you or make you change who you are as a man. Run from that woman.
So you're still going to the wedding?
Yes, he's one of my closest friends. I can't miss it.
You know I don't like when you go without me, especially to things like this.
I invited you. You said you didn't want to come.
Because I shouldn't have to go everywhere just to feel secure. If you really loved me, you'd stay.
This isn't about love. It's about keeping promises and respecting both lives in the relationship.
No, it's about priorities, and clearly I'm not one, but fine. Do whatever you want.
You're trying to get your way by making me feel guilty, but love isn't proven by sacrificing who I am.
If you walk out that door, don't expect me to be here when you get back.
If my presence is only welcome when it's convenient for you, maybe I was never really here to begin with.
The only reason you go to the club is for attention, and I can prove it. What's at the club that isn't at home? Male attention. That is the only thing. You can play music at home. You can turn off the lights at home and buy a light show for less than $100. You can dance with your girls at home. It's actually safer. It's safer for you to dance. And the reason why you go to the club is to dance with the girls in the first place, right? So it shouldn't matter where you dance at if that's the main sole focus. If the main reason you want to go club is so you can dance with the girls, then you can dance with the girls anywhere. The drinks you can make for yourself cheaper. It costs less to buy 4/5 than it does to buy 4 drinks. So the liquor can't be it. So what could possibly be at the club that isn't at home other than male attention? Personally, if I said that I love going fishing with the boys and I should always be able to go fishing every weekend, but then I said the only place I want to go fishing is one specific place that women constantly hit on me at, what does that mean? It means I'm not there for the boys. I'm not there to fish, or else it wouldn't matter where we go fishing. Facts are, I'm choosing a specific setting to have fun with my friends in because I know that that setting is going to give me the reactions that I crave. I'm in attention and I seek that, which is why I make the decisions that I make. Facts are, at the end of the day, you have to be consistent with yourself and delve deeper into who you are as an individual because you don't even know. Or you do know, and you blatantly lie, which I feel is worse because you know that you're a worthless piece of, and you still convince your man that it's just so you can have fun with the girls, knowing that you have heinous feelings and heinous reasonings behind what you're doing. At the end of the day, it's time to grow up. Any woman past the age of 23 that I see at a club, I think is a sad excuse of an individual, but an even sadder excuse of a woman. Why are you still seeking that type of life? And the worst part about it is you've already had the experience. I'd understand it if you've never experienced it in your life, but you've already had the experience tens, if not hundreds of times. So why do you keep putting yourself in that setting to gain attention when you're 24 years old?
Feminism is killing this country.
Can you be more specific?
Feminism has taught us to hate men and to fear men because capital profits off of my fear as a woman. If I'm afraid of men, they can make a profit off of that. There's a gender war because men are the underdogs right now. Men are the ones being told you're feared, you're wrong, everything you do is wrong, go make money, don't show emotion, BBB. Women are making a rise to the top. We've over-feminized so much and included women so much, which is great, but we don't have to tear men down to include women.
So why is there so much talk about male privilege?
Because for a long time there was male privilege, and now the script is flipped. Now women are the ones with privilege, but no one's ready to hear that.
But why are we still talking about male privilege?
Because no one's ready for it. We're not ready to make that change. We're seeing more women in films, more women in power. The amount of jobs that I have seen that say women only is ridiculous. In an effort to hire more women and get them hired and include them, we've excluded men.
Every man that I see that's married has like this black band around his like ring finger. So I do apologize to all the blue collar men out there. I was not familiar with your game. Keep yourself safe. Wear the ring. I appreciate you.
I love this because here's a woman that made an assumption based on her limited experience. And when men came into the comments, and even women came into the comments to explain to her why they wear that band, she made this follow-up video where she recognizes that she made an assumption, that she was not aware. And she said sorry, and she gave some appreciation to these working men. But what is most important about this follow-up video is that she didn't make excuses. She didn't flip it by getting accusatory towards the men that were in the comments telling her why to begin with. She didn't make herself the victim. And let me tell you, not everyone was 100% super kind in the comments. She didn't do that. She took accountability instead. And to be honest, this is the most attractive thing to a man. So either this woman, hopefully she already has a good man, and if not, her DMs are going to be loaded.
Have you seen the data showing the movement of teenage boys politically to the right? Have you been looking at this?
Where else are they going to go?
It's a good question.
I mean, I had a teenage boy. I still have one, but he's 18 now. And I watched them be pushed farther and farther right by their schools. You suck. All of your instincts are bad. These girls are amazing. Look at you. You're pathetic. Be less masculine and more attractive. You're just barking at them constantly. They're not moving right. They're moving out of your stupid way. You've given them what? Nothing. Nothing. One of my son's friends died recently by his own hand. And I don't know what kind of pressures he was put under. But I watched those kids go through this pressure cooker created by this crazy, parasitized, left-wing educational movement. Get away from our sons. Get away from our daughters. Get away from our sons and away from our daughters. It's not left or right. I don't have a Republican bone in my body. Get the crazy people who do not understand human development away from our children.
I'm telling you, men know what's going on. They know what's going on. It's just that they don't say a lot. Men observe all of the time. All of the time. They're observing, they're looking, they're seeing. But modern women, because men don't say a lot, because men are not really vocal a lot in a lot of situations, because they don't have to be the loudest in the room, because they don't have to be seen, right? Then you'll never know what they're thinking. You'll never know what their next move is. That's how the average guy operates, invisibly. And y'all get on here time after time and confirm, yeah, I don't even see that guy. I didn't even know he existed. Jack? I didn't even know that Jack existed. Why? I mean, is he in our class? Yeah, he's in our class. He's sitting right next to you. He's sitting right behind you. How could you not know? Well, I don't know. I just come to class and I talk to X, Y, and Z. It's like, so you've never seen him? I can understand if you didn't know him. I can understand if you didn't converse, but you would know just by default that there's people sitting around you on the side of you, in front of you, and back of you. You would recognize that there was somebody there. No, these modern women don't register that the guy even exists. They don't, for nothing. Even when they're talking to the guy, even when they turn around and say, "Hey, do you have a pencil or a piece of candy that I could have, or a piece of gum?" They're still not registering that this is an actual human being. This is an object that I'm asking for a pencil. It's like a vending machine, like a human vending machine. I don't even recognize you as a human. You're just an object. And this is what men say, well, if you're going to treat me like an object, I'm going to go somewhere where people hear my concerns, where I can open up and people will not only listen to them, they'll validate them sometimes. And then sometimes they'll say, hey, this is not the way to go. You need to do this. They'll give me a place. They'll give me a purpose. It doesn't have to be perfect, but they'll give me something that I can actually get up every morning, be proud of myself, go and fulfill what I want to fulfill within the framework of a structure, within the framework of a system, within the framework of a society. That's the life that I want to live. You guys are sitting up here saying that you don't need me, that you don't want me. What am I supposed to do with that? Nothing. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do nothing with you guys and go find my own purpose elsewhere.
What up, Doc? Gold digging is bad, and women are validated for it. Gold digging is when you hang around other people to leech money off of them. Both men and women do this. When people live from their egos, from survival mode, they put much more emphasis on money. There are plenty of men who gold dig women or other men. When a man does so, he is invalidated. He is called a loser. He is not a man. He is broke. If a man tries to leech off of a woman, she is told, leave him. He's feminine. He'll steal your glow. And is validated if he has money. He's a real man. He's a provider. He's high value. He's masculine. Even if he's a horrible person. Even if he's actually the one who's a loser. When women gold dig, they are validated. They are told that's just how women are. They are being a princess. It is deserved. It is the bare minimum. You are in your feminine. At the end of the day, gold digging is bad, whether you are a woman or a man, because it prioritizes getting money out of another person, extracting from them, which reduces connection, trust, love. Money is supposed to enhance love, not be the basis of it. It is supposed to increase connection, trust, and the relationship. Because if money is the focus, people choose to feed their egos instead of who they are. Nobody should ever be a leech. Women had to be leeches in the past because society made it harder for them to make money. But we now live in the 21st century. Women could go to college. They can start multi-million, billion-dollar businesses if they so choose. But they cannot let go of the identity that society has ingrained into them. So they choose to gold dig and defend it. Both men and women gold dig. Gold digging is bad. No one should be validating it. Equality means being independent and making your own money. Because why would you want to rely on a man? Watch my YouTube for more one-on-one calls in the bio, drizzle.
What makes women happy? And I was thinking on the toilet, well, what makes me happy is, unfortunately, or fortunately, the traditional things. And now, had I said that to my 20-year-old self, I would be horrified because I was a good feminist and I fought my way through comedy and I did all the clubs I I'll show you. I'll be the best female comic. And I carried this anger that compelled me for 20 years, right? And then I became a mom, and I got humbled by illness. And then I was like, okay, so what makes me happy? I know what makes me happy. I can't speak for all women, but is there something to my biology, to my essence? Possibly. It was the male ideal of success that ruined women. It was this idea that in order to become equal, we had to be like you.
Yes.
That's the problem. I have to have my career exactly like Todd's. I have to be successful. It's like, this is not going to work for me. This is not going to work because I'm a mother. My body can't keep up with this pace of work. It's not good. And it makes the woman angry, resentful, bitter. And now I'm useless because if my kid can't come for a snuggle and my cat can't come, I'm the center of the home. This is the truth. And it's not pretty to say anymore, but that's what I learned.
And that's about right. That's about right, honestly. You hear this type of story a lot from women who enter into their 30s, women who enter into their 40s. When they're younger, the culture is telling them, oh, your happiness is going to come from you being rebellious. Oh, you got to put your career first. You can't be traditional. You don't like that. You need to be independent. Oh, you don't need to be feminine. You need to be anti-femininity. And a lot of these young ladies, a lot of these modern women run with it. Okay? They're out here doing what they're taught in a lot of instances. But what they see on TV, I should say, what they read in magazines, what they see on social media. But then as time passes and the question shifts from what makes me look powerful to what actually makes me feel fulfilled. And suddenly the things that they used to roll their eyes at, I don't want no family. I don't want no marriage, partnership, building a home, supporting a man who supports you, all that stuff that they used to roll their eyes at, that stuff starts making a lot more sense. I don't know if it's that women really change. I think it's that reality that finally gets a vote in the situation. I think it's modern women finally coming to terms with, oh, I've been out here playing around, right? I've been avoiding responsibility. I've been trying to do this whole thing and make it work and live free, going back up to the point of being rebellious, going against the establishment, fighting the man, fighting the patriarchy. And then reality hits. And now reality says, now it's my turn. Now I'm going to step in here. You've been living in a delusional world and you got away with it for about 10, 15 years. But now the reality is starting to set in, right? The part that modern women don't want to admit is that a lot of the traditional values that you were making fun of and you were rebelling against, they're not designed to oppress you. They're not designed to oppress women. They were designed to give you, and men, because, men are in the structure as well. They're designed to give men and women a structure that works. And when you come in here trying to collapse the structure, right, you get freedom kind of on the front end. Oh, I'm free. I can do whatever I want. I can wear whatever I want. I say whatever I want. But on the back end, here come that loneliness. Here come that loneliness creeping in on you. And you're not going to really see it, but it's going to be there, right? Men are going to get that casual access to you on the front end, but your purpose disappears on the back end because too many men, I like to be with all that. No, don't do that. You don't need to be around that. Men keep on telling you, hey, stay away from these guys that want casual access to you. Well, I can do it. No. If you want to be married, stay away from these types of guys. That's what I'm saying. So when you're listening to older women say, I used to be a feminist, I thought tradition was outdated, but now it actually makes me happy. Now you're wising up. Now you're coming to the understanding that hey, there are some good things about this, right? And the tragedy is that the culture continues to teach our young ladies this lesson when it's too late. And men been trying to tell you, men see it happening in real time, but they're not allowed to say that stuff out loud because y'all gonna call them misogynistic, wanting to uphold the patriarchy. If a woman tell you, then she probably gonna get called a pick me. She's probably gonna have somebody say that she's internalized an misogyny or whatever weird stuff that they say nowadays. You can't win with modern women.
Sweetheart, he wants you to be independent. He wants you to be self-sufficient. He wants to know that if something happens to him and he can't be there for you, you can stand on your own. Do you think he wants a weak woman? But he also wants to know that you appreciate everything that he is as the man in your life. You appreciate the fact that he handles as much as he can, even more. You appreciate the fact that he's in your life, he adds to your life. He wants to make life easier for you, and he wants you to know that he's got your back. But you need to have his too. So when he's trying to solve your problems, it's not that he thinks he's the know-it-all, the be-all. He's doing what comes natural to him, taking care of the woman that he loves. And if you see that as being controlling, maybe you're not ready for this type of man. So if all you need is for him to listen to you, then be woman enough to just say that, baby. Just listen to me. You don't need to solve anything right now. I just want you to listen. And a man who cares about you, he'll receive that. But don't try to make him guess what you need, baby. Be honest, be upfront, and let him know that. And when you do, let him know you appreciate him trying to at least solve the issue. To him, that's being independent. That's being self-sufficient. That's being a woman who wants to create an atmosphere where he can help you. But if you don't need it, you can say that and he can depend on your honesty. That communication will do something for you, baby. It'll do something for you both. Just think about it. I love you. Be well.
So this whole strong, independent woman, I don't need no man mindset sounds empowering on the surface. And, you know, for work or business, it actually can be. But I don't think that a lot of modern women understand that in relationships, it's oftentimes going to backfire. Most men, despite what you guys are thinking, aren't threatened by your strength or your competence or your success. Men are going to actually admire those things about you. They're going to actually like those things about you. What men get pushed away by is your attitude. They get pushed away by your attitude. Oh, I don't need you. Or I can do everything by myself. Or if you stay or leave, it don't really matter to me. It don't really affect me. I really don't need you. It's nice to have you. That's what men don't like. Here's the reality of the situation. There's not going to be any sane man that wants to sign up for a relationship where he's not needed. He's not respected. He's not allowed to contribute. Men bond through usefulness. Men bond through responsibility. Men bond through being able to provide something of value. I will say that again. Something of value. It's not just going to be money. You have safety, you have guidance, you have direction, protection, and support. When a woman leads with, oh, I'm independent, has her personality, she's unintentionally, or maybe intentionally for some of you modern women, communicating that there ain't no room for a man to do any of that. You're not providing anything in here. And men don't compete with that. They simply walk away. Modern dating keeps acting like relationships are two separate empires, trying not to depend on each other. That's what you're trying to do. When the whole point of a relationship is interdependence. It's teamwork. You got to trust the other person. You have to need the other person. Like, you don't have to be, if I don't have you, what can I do? You don't have to do that. That's too extreme. That's too far, right? You can be strong and independent in the world, but if you're bringing that same attitude, that same posture to the house, right? Having pride and some sort of superiority, like I don't need you. Don't be surprised when that man walks away. Don't be surprised when that man decides, this ain't for me. She not, apparently I'm not what she's looking for. Men don't tend to stay where they feel unnecessary. They tend to go and gravitate to where they feel valued. But of course, modern women are probably not going to listen to that.
70% of divorces that happen over 40 are initiated by women. Okay, why is that? Well, as she loses these hormones, there are so many brain changes that are happening. And because she doesn't understand herself, she thinks it's your problem.
Here's the neuroscience nobody talks about. After 40, women's brain starts rewiring because of hormonal changes. And that single biological shift can affect mood, stress, and even the way their relationships unfold. As women age, levels of key hormones like estrogen and progesterone drop. These hormones directly affect the neurotransmitters in the brain, including serotonin and dopamine. When these fluctuate, women experience changes in mood, memory, stress response, and emotional regulation. This isn't about being too emotional or blaming anybody. It's biology. Neuroscience shows that women's frontal lobes, the part of the brain responsible for decision making, empathy, and planning, also responds differently to these hormonal shifts. That means stresses from work, kids, or aging parents feel heavier because the brain is working harder to maintain balance. Studies on more than 10,000 women show that regular exercises, nutrition-rich diets, adequate sleep, stress reduction, and cognitive training can support the brain and stabilize the emotions, therefore preventing frustration, unnecessary prescription, and relational strains. So the more we understand these hormonal and brain changes, the better we can support women through midlife and beyond.
70% of divorces that happen over 40 are initiated by women. Okay, why is that? Well, as she loses these hormones, there are so many brain changes that are happening. And because she doesn't understand herself, she thinks it's your problem.
Here's the neuroscience nobody talks about. After 40, women's brain starts rewiring because of hormonal changes. And that single biological shift can affect mood, stress, and even the way their relationships unfold. As women age, levels of key hormones like estrogen and progesterone drop. These hormones directly affect the neurotransmitters in the brain, including serotonin and dopamine. When these fluctuate, women experience changes in mood, memory, stress response, and emotional regulation. This isn't about being too emotional or blaming anybody. It's biology. Neuroscience shows that women's frontal lobes, the part of the brain responsible for decision making, empathy, and planning, also responds differently to these hormonal shifts. That means stresses from work, kids, or aging parents feel heavier because the brain is working harder to maintain balance. Studies on more than 10,000 women show that regular exercises, nutrition-rich diets, adequate sleep, stress reduction, and cognitive training can support the brain and stabilize the emotions, therefore preventing frustration, unnecessary prescription, and relational strains. So the more we understand these hormonal and brain changes, the better we can support women through midlife and beyond.
And once again, this is where you have a problem. This is where you have a problem, man. If a woman hits her 40s, her hormones change. You see her mood shifting. You see her stress tolerance drop. And then suddenly, who's the bad guy? The husband. That's what nobody wants to acknowledge here, at least modern women. And here's the real problem. That when those biological changes hit, when the changes in your body hit, over and over again, it doesn't matter what it is, who it is, what the situation is, women continue to be allowed to blame hormones, trauma, anxiety, finding themselves, quote unquote, or outgrowing the marriage. They blame, it's this or that, it's that, or maybe she did. It's all of that. Men never get that luxury. Men don't get told, hey, maybe it's biology. They get told, do better, step up, She left because you failed. Grow something. Grow a pair. Step up, be the man. You're running away. That's what they continue to tell men. Meanwhile, 70% of the divorces after 40 are initiated by the women. And nobody asked what changed inside her. Okay, we got what's going on with him, but what's happening with her? Nobody's asking that. It's only the man. What did the man do to her, or what didn't the man do? That's the part that men are tired of. It's not so much in a lot of these situations that, women are changing, but people change, right? It's that during that time when women are changing, men are expected to say, I see you and I understand you, and I'm adapting to what you got going on. But if it's a man that changes, I don't know what's going on with you. You need help, and I'm not going to stay around this. You're not the person that I used to love, that I used to be with, and all that other BS. When men change, they get blamed. When women change, men also get blamed, right? That's how society has set it up. And men are tired of that type of stuff, right? I can help you if you need me to. I can look into something, because men will. I can look at anything that you want me to look into. But I don't want you to continue using me as a punching bag. Like I'm the issue in all of these situations.